Good morning. Welcome to the Church of the River, or as we also know it, the First Unitarian Church of Memphis. My name is Lisa Jennings, and it's certainly great to see everyone. You are all welcome here today, both in person and also virtually. In the rich assortment of languages, cultures, and hues, each contributing to the mosaic of our shared humanity, you are welcome here. In the various ways you navigate and express your gender, in the authenticity of your self-expression, you are welcome here. In the depth and breadth of your love, in the myriad forms it takes, you are welcome here. Whether your heart brims with laughter or weighs heavy with tears, in every emotion you bring to this sacred space, you are welcome here. So come, join us with open minds, loving hearts, and willing hands. Together, we embark on this journey of community and connection. Together, you are welcome here today. Everyone is encouraged to engage with our soul work materials found on the bookshelf at the rear of the sanctuary. Many folks of all ages find that busy hands make for a calm body and a focused mind. And also, as we settle in, please remember to silence any electronic devices. If you're new here, if you're visiting virtually, we are glad you found us and hope that in this community, you may experience the warmth and love of this congregation. If you'd like to learn more about us, you can find our newcomer form by scanning the QR code in the order of service, and we invite you to pick up a welcome bag if you're a first-time visitor from the credenza in the back on your way out. Please take note of the announcements printed in your order of service. There are several. And you can also scan the QR code to see the full list of announcements in this week's newsletter. Just to highlight a few, the Canvas campaign, the pledge drive, continues today. Please be on the lookout for pledge boxes around the church or scan the QR code in the order of service. Also, in the baskets, there are two slips of paper. One is a pledge card with an envelope. You can put your pledge in the offering bags that are being passed during the service, or there are boxes at the top of the sanctuary on the credenza. Also, as we move to our sharing of joys and sorrows, in these baskets are also the blue sheets of paper that you can fill out, either put your name or ask that these requests be held silently by our minister. And if you're on the center aisle, these baskets are there, and if you could look through the materials and pass them then out to the perimeter or periphery of the pews, then people can have time to fill out either the blue sheet or consider their pledge during the service. Highlighting Covenant Sunday is December 7th. There's a catered lunch that will be served immediately after the worship service, and also there will be the painting of the greens that day as well. So please earmark December 7th, and please note the other announcements that are in the order of service. I now invite the music of our choir to draw us deeper into this moment as we enter into worship together.
Broken your vow. Morning, church. It has come time in our service for the call to worship. And first, I would like to say my name is James Westerfield. I am the director of music here, and I am the guest minister today. I use he, him pronouns, and I am delighted to be here standing in front of you and honored that you would have me. Our call to worship today comes from a writing by Henri Nouwen, which says, "What does it mean to be thankful?" Henri Nouwen states, "To be grateful for the good things that happen in our lives is easy, but to be grateful for all of our lives, the good as well as the bad, the moments of joy as well as the moments of sorrow, the successes as well as the failures, the rewards as well as the rejections. That requires hard spiritual work. Still, we are only truly grateful people when we can say thank you to all that has brought us to the present moment. As long as we keep dividing our lives between events and people we would like to remember and those we would rather forget, we cannot claim the fullness of our beings as a gift of God to be grateful for. So, let us not be afraid to look at everything that has brought us to where we are now and trust that we will soon see it in the guiding hand of a loving God."
Let us now turn to our order of service where we may speak in unison for our chalice lighting. We light this chalice for the challenge of freedom, the goal of equality, and the warmth of community. May all who gather here offer and find the blessings of acceptance, loving kindness, and a grateful heart. Let us turn to our first hymn in unison, hymn number 70, "Heap High the Farmer's Wintry Hoard," number 70.
Thank you, everyone. That was beautiful. Good morning. I am Jessica Lakeman. I use she, her pronouns, and I am your Director of Lifespan Faith Development. And today is a special day here at Church of the River. Today is the day that we not only tell the story, but we also create our own stone soup. So you may notice that if you look down near you, there might be some vegetables or a cloak, perhaps. And if you find such a thing near you, I ask your adventurous self to partake in our story. As we tell, it should become self-apparent, though I will tell you that the cloaks are for our monks. So if you see a brown cloak near you, either you or someone near you have a dear friend, be willing to be one of our monks, who I'm going to need in just a minute. I'm going to give you a second to look and get ready. Today's story is an old story of kindness and thanksgiving that has been told and retold in countless ways over the years. Today, we are going to work together to retell it. Not to worry, no theater background is required. If you are one of the people who has a costume piece, thank you. Just come down and we will build our tableau of our story down here in front. Is everybody ready? Ready? Okay. Once upon a time, there were 4 monks traveling on a country road. Oh, I see 3. Where's my 4th monk? Oh, I see a monk's robe. Mike found it. Who will be our 4th monk? Thank you. Our monks were traveling along a mountain road. They talked about cats' whiskers, about the color of the sun, and whatever else came to mind. What makes one happy? Wondered the youngest monk. The old and wisest monk said, let's find out. The monks found themselves gazing down at the rooftops of a village below. The monks knew that the village had been through many hard times, and that the villagers had become suspicious of each other. The villagers worked hard, but only for themselves. They had little to do with one another, and when the monks came down, the villagers disappeared into their houses, and no one came to the gate to greet them. Even the windows were closed tight. The monks knocked on the doors, but there was no answer. These people do not know happiness. But today, we will show them how to make stone soup. They gathered twigs and made a fire, and they placed a small pot that they had carried with them and filled it with water. It had been a long, lean year in the small town, and after the stores of food that had been carefully gathered after the last good harvest were now nearly gone. In fact, the villagers and farmers in the valley were growing fearful that the drought might come back. It might never break, and would be weeks or months before the tender green shoots of new plants would come up through the rich soil of their gardens. A brave little girl who was watching them came outside. "What are you doing?" she said. "We are making stone soup, and we need 4 round, smooth stones," said a monk. And the little girl helped the monks find 4 round, smooth stones. I think they found them. And they brought them forward to the monk. "These stones will make excellent soup," said the oldest monk, "but this small pot won't make very much." The little girl ran home to get her mother's biggest pot so that there would be plenty of soup for the village. Oh, those are gonna be loud rocks. 4 strangers are making soup from stones, she told her mother. And one by one, the villagers came out to see just what this stone soup was. Of course, old-style stone soup should be well seasoned with salt and pepper, said the young monk, but we have none. The townspeople who had gathered around to see glanced at each other. Surely it wouldn't hurt to give away just a little salt and pepper. How much could these travelers use anyway? The mayor stepped forward. Surely we can help, the mayor said. Surely someone here has salt and pepper in their pantry to spare. Who can help? There is salt and pepper in the big pantry to share. Was the pepper? Oh, we found pepper. There is, salt. Thank you, yes. The salt and pepper comes, and the old monk took a taste. The last time we made stone soup with stones of this size and color, carrots made the broth very sweet. Carrots? A villager said. I have some carrots. She went and grabbed them and added them to the pot. Getting better. Stone soup, though, is really best with some cabbage, the monk said. Who has some cabbage? Yes. We just saw that villager purchase a beautiful head of cabbage in the market the other day. Now, if only we had some sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes. Then this soup would be fit for a rich man's table. Thank you. Sweet potatoes always make for the best soup. Do you think it would be better with some dried herbs? Asked another monk. Oh, yes. Maybe some dried herbs would taste good, said a farmer. And so 2 villagers who had a store of dried herbs brought them forward to add to the pot. And something magical began to happen amongst the villagers. As each person opened their heart to give, the next person gave even more. And one by one, all the villagers who had something to share brought the items forward to add to the soup. And the monks simply stirred, and the pot bubbled. And so the soup pot, now filled with an assortment of vegetables and grains, began to release its tantalizing aroma. Everyone's mouth was watering and stomach was grumbling, just thinking about eating such a fine meal. The stone soup was nearly complete, and the people's hope and gratitude began to crowd out the other thoughts of hunger. And finally, after cooking all afternoon, the soup was finished. The villagers gathered together, and everyone who wanted to join in the soup gathered down front for a feast. Who wants to have a feast? Yes. We got some hungry villagers down here, I'm telling you what. There had not been a feast together like this for as long as anyone could remember. After the banquet, they sat and told stories and sang songs and celebrated long into the night. Then they unlocked their doors and they took the monks into their homes and gave them comfortable places to sleep and sit and rest their legs. comfortable, beautiful places to rest. Monks, go rest. Monks, they gave the monks comfortable places to rest after working so hard to create their soup. And the next morning, everyone gathered together to say farewell. "Thank you for having us as your guest," said the monks. "You have been most generous." "Thank you," said the villagers. "Thank you for teaching us that with the gifts we have, we will always be plentiful. You have shown us that sharing makes us all richer. And to think," said the monks, "to be happy is as simple as making stone soup." So everyone, let's give a big round of applause for all of our stone soup players. And yes, after the service today, we will gather as a community to enjoy our own stone soup that is bubbling away in the kitchen right now. And we hope you will join us. But now, we are going to bless our young people as we send them out to their classes. It is going to have the stones. Yes, the stones are going to go into the stone soup. So grown-ups, please raise your blessing hands in the air and repeat after me. You are beloved. You are beloved. You are sacred. You are sacred. You are powerful. You are powerful. Go in peace.
I determined after I wrote a sermon that I was going to be up here yapping enough. So for the reading today, I wanted a responsive reading. So this involves y'all. If you would find your hymnal, please, and turn to 512. As we read through this, please read the italicized text as a congregative spirit, as it were. And even though it's repetitive, every time you say it, see if it could mean just a little more to you. Because I don't know about y'all, in times that are not always pleasant, being thankful and grateful is difficult. But it's nice to remember that. We have things to be grateful for. Number 512, we give thanks this day for the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations. We give thanks for this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons. We give thanks this day. Now that sounds like a responsive reading. On that next one, mean it. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements. We give thanks this day. I'll take it. For our human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression. We give thanks this day. for high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared. We give thanks this day for all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom. We give thanks this day for human liberty and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow and to affirm and choose. We give thanks this day. We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds. Y'all did great.
Just to alleviate any concerns, the vegetables that were put into the pot down here are not being added to the stone soup in the fellowship hall, just to be clear. At this time, it's an honor to invite board member Laura Taylor, who has agreed to give us a pledge or canvas testimony today.
Good morning, y'all. I do that with my students, and they don't always respond, so I appreciate that. I also did ask about the vegetables, so I'm pleased to hear that. Hello, I'm Laura Taylor. If we haven't met, you may know my family. They contributed the sweet potatoes today. My partner, Dan, and our children, Rosa and Clark. In time of thinking about what I wanted to share here, I was thinking that I think it was last week actually, when our family was walking from the parking lot to here, Clark, my lovely 10-year-old, who maybe would have been preferring to play his video games, was like, why do we go to church? And it was really interesting because in a lot of religious spaces, I think that answer would be really easy, right? Like, well, the Bible tells us this is what we do, or like God tells us this is what we have to do. And, you know, I think this is true of a lot of you things. I had to be like, oh, how do I explain to my 10-year-old, like, why we interrupt our video games on Sunday mornings? And wouldn't you know it, that was the day Matt asked me to come share. So I wrote down a couple of my thoughts. Two big things I wanted to share. One is I really appreciate having a space every week where I can come and be challenged to think about the kind of person I want to be in life. As much as like I'm a professor, I write a lot about equity and justice, and there's a lot of people out there who, like me, write a lot about it, but we're not actually challenged to think about how that means we should be relating to one another in our everyday lives. And this has really been a space for me every week to kind of come back and be like, what do I want from my life? How do I want to contribute to my communities? And just coming into a space that, you know, treats Audre Lorde's essays or Mary Oliver's poems as sacred texts that we can learn from along with more traditional texts has been really meaningful to me. Another thing, and this actually, a Kansas speaker said this a couple years ago and it really stuck with me, of my children are experiencing that same thing. I don't have to worry about coming back and having to like reteach or unteach things that they may have learned in religious education that go against our values. And so that's been really important, and it's kind of sparked our conversations on our drives home about, you know, what did you guys learn today? And really having those kinds of conversations about our values that, although I grew up in a church, it never actually made its way into our car. And last but not least, I think of the thing, and this is sort of the one that I'm challenging myself to do over the year, is think about building community. Probably like a lot of people here, I would say I'm kind of an introvert. I would say I'm kind of shy. I am not always going to be the one to go up and greet you. Although if you greet me, I'll be very friendly back. I just don't have that in me. And I've been thinking about Lynn's sermon from a couple weeks ago about building community, not just with the people that are sort of like we already know are like us, but really challenging us to build community across differences. And I think that kind of constructed spaces like this are a great place to do that. So I'm excited about taking up that challenge and continuing that for the year. And thanks y'all for being here and listening to me.
Thank you, Laura. So we are now taking an offering, and in that offering bag you can put your blue slips for sharing your joys and sorrows as you wish, and also any pledge cards. This opportunity for us allows us to exercise an all-important generosity of spirit and to support this church, its operations, its staff, its many ministries. There's many ways you can make a donation. There's a QR code, of course, in your printed order of service. There is a text number, 901-350-2686, or on our website, which is churchoftheriver.org. So without delay, the gifts of the congregation will now be most gratefully given and received.
spend with you all. I'm thankful that I am trusted enough to give my words of wisdom and encouragement to others. I am thankful for my friends and family that I get to see soon, the bittersweet memories of people that I have lost but still hold dearly in love. Dan has joy. His joy is, we had a fantastic time last night hosting another family for supper club. Very grateful for the good times. Jess has a joy. My partner and I got engaged this week. Congratulations to you. Jess says she proposed as we were playing bananagrams. I was so focused on winning that I didn't notice her dumping tiles to get the letters for "Will you marry me?" May this be a warning for your marriage. Congratulations to you both. This is an unwritten, anonymized sorrow to be read aloud. Upon the unexpected death last week of Robert Hollingsworth, a master gardener, supporter of the arts, and a dear man. May we hold that sorrow together in community. An unspoken joy that will be spoken. Gratitude for traditions like Stone Soup Sunday, reminding us so tenderly of the roots of our UU and Church of the River faith community. If you have joys or sorrows to bring, say your silent prayer here, you are welcome at this time to come down. If you didn't have time to write on a thing or you didn't want to, but something has moved you to come and place your joys or sorrows in the cooling, cleansing waters of our community, you are welcome to at this time. Are there those who would like to come down but are unable to? If so, please raise your hand and I will put a stone in for you. I see you back there in the choir.
Thank you, Jen.
Nancy here has a joy that she forgot to put in for us, which is fine. We don't have to be perfect, do we? Just have to be grateful of each other. A joy when my 11-year-old grandson, Luke, the son of my late son, Andrew, I can't read that, FaceTimed me from San Salvador, and sorrow for my friend's broken nose and hip due to a fall. I'm going to put more rocks in there for you, Nancy. There are our current joys and sorrows. I know there are more, and you do too. As we come together in community to hold all in our community in grace, love, compassion, and warmth, I invite you all to sing with us our responsive hymn, Spirit of Life, which is number 123 in the hymnal. trying to make noise at me. Well, howdy, y'all. There you go. I don't know what types of churches y'all are used to, but y'all can make noise back at me, I promise. Even if you don't heckle me if you want to, I just want to see you engaged. It is an honor to be up in the pulpit with y'all again on this weekend before Thanksgiving, this Stone Soup Sunday here at Church of the River. Another reminder for after the service, we will be enjoying the fruits of our labors of stone soup that y'all have brought right across the courtyard in the Mississippi River Room. You are invited and encouraged to join us as you see fit. Well, it's almost Thanksgiving, y'all. How many of you ready? There's not a lot of hands. Well, you know what that means for Thanksgiving. It's eating tasty victuals, eating too many tasty victuals, complaining about eating too many tasty victuals, until you collapse in a pile of exhaustion from complaining so much about said tasty victualage, but only, of course, after waddling myself back up for one more bite of dessert. For many, it means dragging kids with much wailing and gnashing of teeth on hours-long car rides to a relative's house who doesn't have enough accommodations for all the people invited, so someone's got to sleep on the floor, maybe on an air mattress in some back office. For others, it means preparing one's home for the arrival of too many people, some of whom take hospitality for granted instead of understanding the chore that is hospitality, as they complain about said air mattress that was put in the office, all to save them from having to get a hotel room during an expensive holiday weekend. Does this sound familiar to any of you? Great. During the actual meal and visiting around the meal, some families tend to have volatile dynamics. Someone's going to say something stupid, y'all. You just know they will. Sometimes many people will engage in saying stupid things, often in response to an initial stupid thing being said in the first place. Someone's going to bring up politics. Just leave that there. Or they'll complain about everything is about politics now, when they try not to say that they're bringing up politics. And then they're going to get riled up when an errant teenager says something snarky like, "Welcome to adulting at the age of 14. You know who those people are in your family, don't you? And if you don't, guess what? It's probably you. And in this celebration of when that happens, it's about this time when hot takes turn from the food to the real world, that the fun aunt at the get-together, and I am convinced every family get-together has a fun aunt. It's at this time that the fun aunt starts staring longingly across the room at the bag she held and put her schnapps in. And all of this, of course, to celebrate gratitude and thanks, allegedly. Luckily, not everyone experiences joy and gratitude the same way, and that is a good thing. No matter how one feels about the holidays, a change in mindset from one's usual comforts is often in order. Because being in society, from large communities to small communities, such as families, requires civility to function. Part of civility is understanding the importance of social cohesion, and it requires us to give up small bits of freedom in order to keep harmony. Small bits of freedom like being tactful. Being tactful and honest requires subtlety and nuance. Flat, blunt honesty is rarely appreciated in practice as much as it is applauded on paper. When you ask, "Does this make me look fat?" you don't want to hear yes. Just throwing that out there. The pathway through the nuance that it takes to reach civility itself is through empathy and, much to many people's chagrin, etiquette. Uh-oh. Let's talk about etiquette, y'all. How many of you have done any training in etiquette? All 4 of us. So, there's probably a reason for that. We won't get into it, but first thing, etiquette is not about being nice, y'all. How many of y'all think etiquette is about being nice? Great, it's not. Etiquette is not about being nice. It's about actively practicing civility to make sure how one engages with the people one shares space with. It's about making sure y'all don't want to kill each other. That's not about being nice. On this topic, Judith Martin, also known as Miss Manners, was asked this question: Dear Miss Manners, civility seems to be the issue of the day. Politicians talk about it, foundations support groups to support it, and everyone grumbles about how mean and antagonistic everyone is. After all this, as far as I can see, the only change has been for the worse. Maybe nothing can be done. Do you agree? And where does etiquette fit into the discussion? I tried paring this down, but I'm not going to. Miss Manners' response succinctly says what she meant to say, which is, gentle reader. It usually doesn't fit into the conversation, which is one reason for the lack of progress in reaching the state of civility everyone claims to want. The primary reason is that while we all want to be treated with respect and consideration and to live in pleasant communities, few seem to understand that this would also require them to treat others with respect and consideration. But there's also the matter of obeying etiquette rules. Rules restrict freedom. So even people who may agree out of the principles of manners balk at the idea of following the particular arbitrary rules of surface behavior in whatever subsection of society they happen to be in. They will decide for themselves what is proper behavior, and that is exactly the problem. Some believe that their sense of virtue entitles them to be rude, if not violent, to those whom they disapprove. Others decide that pesky little rules, such as answering invitations or expressing gratitude, are an unnecessary bother. So the courtesies, big and small, fall out of use, and people begin to suspect that they're being shown a lack of respect. They get angry. To retaliate, they unfortunately turn rude. Miss Manners is sorry to present such a dismal picture of society, but you already knew that. What she needs to point out is that it is in everyone's interest, even the most selfish, to behave civilly. I am inclined to agree with Miss Manners here. Not because I own several of her books, but that's part of it, I'm sure. I've seen large breakdowns in civility in my lifetime. I know you have. And there is always some level of incivility. I grew up here in the South in the 80s being gay. Not the most civil of places. But this goes way beyond that, y'all. Now people make hobbies out of hurting people with words. They have careers, whole careers on inflicting emotional trauma. And these people aren't comedians who are used to doing that. The internet has been a blessing in many ways. This is not one of them. We need so much more civility and kindness in our lives. And if I can't get kindness, I will settle for civility. Civility is also one of the major ties that binds us in a useful, working, and compassionate society. Civility isn't about agreeing with others' viewpoints. Civility is about making the active choice to choose words and actions with consideration for others, so that listeners don't want to respond with hurtful or violent statements or behavior of their own. So civility is about society at large, not just about the individuals taking part. Civility and rules of civil engagement also make space for diversity of thought and lifestyle. I'm okay if someone hates me. You are entitled to that. I prefer you do it behind closed doors. Because if you do it openly, you're not just damaging me. You're damaging the people around me that I care about. That's where I draw the line. And I suggest that's where other people draw the line too. As Ms. Manners excellently puts it, civility is a benefit even to the most selfish among us. And all of us are selfish from time to time, aren't we? And thus we all need to be cognizant of that. Even in times when you're like, I'm doing this for me, you can do it with compassion and grace. Here's my big PSA. On this note, I am stating in no way that what I'm saying today, am I asking you to put up with abusive words or behavior during this holiday season or any? I'm not. I am asking you to try and refrain from acting rudely to such things yourself, if that's possible. You can't control someone else's actions, but you can control yours, for the most part. If you think you can change somebody's mind and want to, then listen to them, but walk away when and if you can't, or if it starts affecting others around you. These get-togethers aren't about the food, are they? We need to make sure that when we engage with people, we also think of more sage wisdom from Miss Manners, which is 2 wrongs make a blight, and blights spread. So much civility can be gained by simply showing understanding. And a lot of people who sit there and complain, even incessantly, many of them simply do that because they want to be understood. You don't have to agree with somebody to understand them. Because sometimes the understanding is how you got to the disagreement. Keep that in mind. If you have somebody that's just insisting on complaining, now don't do it until it's toxic, but listen to them for a minute, then move on. Even without toxic behaviors or bigoted family members, the holidays can still be tumultuous and nerve-wracking, can't they? There's a lot going on. Holiday get-togethers are a lot like the message of stone soup. You throw a bunch of stuff in a pot and hope for the best it doesn't bubble over, spill, and ruin Grandma's newly cleaned stove. Maybe it'll taste good, but one step at a time. Because these get-togethers really aren't about food. Today is not about the food when we're going over there. It's about togetherness, however big or small your family is. But that quaint Hallmark card sentiment doesn't make it any easier emotionally or logistically. Sometimes holidays are just tough for people. And during all of this, we are asked to find thanks and gratitude even when we don't want to. And I'm even asking you just to be considerate of what other peoples are going through, which isn't fun. But speaking of fun, y'all remember that Fun Ants bottle of schnapps we talked about earlier? Well, I got a fun question for you. After I talked all this sad stuff, let me give you some levity. Have any of y'all ever taken a shot of vinegar just to see how it tastes? I am not alone. Well, you can attest to me, because I have. Mistakes were made. You see, this was years ago. My roommate at the time and I wanted to celebrate something, and we wanted to have martinis. And we were going to make them at home, and both of us like our martinis dirty, so we usually kept a bottle of olive juice in the fridge just for that purpose. But this night, we were out of olive juice. So we decided to have some other cocktail instead. A good decision. But about 2 drinks in, not a good decision, we decided to revisit the idea of martinis when one of us, and I will not be so rude as to cast blame right now, it was me. One of us had the dumb idea to go, well, it's a savory component. Maybe we can sub in a different savory liquid and get close. Like I was on some episode of Chopped where I just really had to make an idea work when I really shouldn't have. So what savory liquid did I have the brilliant idea to sub in? Malt vinegar. So there I go, mixing some spirits, vermouth and malt vinegar. Well, I'll just say it tasted like a mix of Captain D's, acetone, and failure. Lesson learned. Vinegar 1, James 0. From there, though, I was lost in an autistic frenzy because the next day I was determined to find out what vinegar tasted good without spirits. Please, if y'all see me after being up here today, please do not ask me why I wanted this information. I have no good reason. I'm just dumb sometimes. I tried white vinegar, apple cider vinegar, red wine vinegar. I had a whole flight of vinegars out in front of me in shot glasses. As my mother would have put this, what a mouthful of stupid, son. Because there ain't nary a vinegar worth shooting, y'all. Take my word for it. I threw up so you don't have to. But what in the world does this have to do with Thanksgiving or stone soup? I hear you cry. Well, a lot, in fact. If you've spent time cooking, especially from recipes that turn out better than a nailed it audition, you'll know that almost every high-quality soup recipe calls for some type of vinegar during the process. Vinegar, if you didn't know, is the byproduct of bacteria-consuming alcohol. It's what left when they're done with their drunken party. Sounds tasty, no? By itself, vinegar is an acidic astringent not particularly pleasant on its own. Sounds like that eccentric uncle who won't shut up about sports, or that young person asking you every question they can about Minecraft, even though you have no clue what they're talking about, just because they saw you play one video game at some point in their life. I see them all as individual shots of vinegar. But when you put vinegar with other ingredients, not only does the vinegar become something else, it has transformed itself, but it also enhances and highlights the flavors and other ingredients it's with. Because some things shine in a group where they flounder alone, both things and people. The story of Stone Soup is about how a community came together to produce something of high quality for the community. It's akin to the Latin statement on our $1 bill, e pluribus unum, out of many, one, no matter how false that may look in today's political climate. Community still exists, and it must. In this story, many participated in giving the ingredients for the soup and participated in the preparation and cooking of the soup. Many brought their diverse vegetables, talents, and kindness to make something greater than their own personal contribution. This included beautiful vegetables, ugly vegetables, nasty vinegar, those comments from the family member that just can't help themselves, and various other components that wouldn't do as well by themselves as they do in a group. All of that came together to feed the community. No one person had to do all the heavy lifting. And as we often say in the gardening communities I frequent, many hands make light work. This story also highlights the power of diversity, because even soups that are primarily marketed as containing just one ingredient don't contain just one ingredient. Throwing some potatoes in a pot, not doing anything else with it, does not a potato soup make. Soups take a broth, which comes from boiling down vegetables or bones into water to make it into something tastier. And it takes a few other vegetables, herbs, and spices to even get a simple soup going. Most importantly, good soups take time to develop the flavors. And it takes time for the diverse array of ingredients to get along with each other. And eventually, even in communities with good stewardship, sometimes setting things on fire, they do. This is how community works. Everyone has a part to play, even the loners and ye outcasts. Diverse viewpoints are how we make sure people don't fall through the cracks. I'm hearing a lot in the public sphere about meritocracy, and people are holding that up as some vaunted goal to do. And then they decry diversity at the same time. But diversity isn't against meritocracy. Meritocracy cannot happen without diversity. Without diversity, what others think of as meritocracy is simply a delusion of mediocrity. Because chains are only as strong as its weakest link, Likewise, communities are similar. That's why it's incumbent upon us all to bolster weak links, not call them garbage and toss them aside. These are people. Rising tides lift boats in such cliches of our lives, but it's true. Building community takes acting in good faith, however. Society will be much better off if everyone comes to the part they play in a community in good faith, and some just choose not to. Many come from a selfish, purely transactional mindset, and that's a recipe for division. And we see it in the world easily all around us. But if we approach cultivating community in good faith, then we can finally capitalize on strength in numbers and the strength that's actually gained through diversity, despite what the naysayers yammer on about. I enjoy not knowing everything. I don't know is one of my favorite things to say. I enjoy not being good at everything. I'm good at the things I'm good at, but there's a lot I'm not good at, and that's a privilege because it allows me to lean on those who are good at the things that I'm not. But much more importantly, it helps me to thank them for the value they bring to the community that I cannot. I don't have to do everything, and neither do you. You just have to do your part, no matter how small it is. You don't have to fix everything. Just remember to leave room to see the values others bring and to be grateful when they do. Search it out. You may be surprised yourself. You also remember that you don't have to engage with things you find distasteful, but you don't have to mock them either. At least, not for Thanksgiving meal. We all have friend groups where we like to kvetch and say things we don't want to say elsewhere. Go do that. Go do your group self-care, but keep it contained. Now let's talk about being thankful. I promise I'm not going on too much longer. Start small. Not everything has to be transfiguring to be transformative. Let me state that one more time for y'all. Not everything we do has to transfigure us for it to transform someone else's life, sometimes our own. I don't know about y'all, but knowing that we do have strength and diversity, and that strength doesn't destroy our community but builds a firm foundation instead, that's something I am wildly grateful for. I am thankful that I have the ability to share my time and my food with others, including friends and family. I'm thankful of how I, usually the oddball at family functions, can play my part to bring more life into my community. If you're also the oddball, or just one of many, know that you bring something important to the table too. Holidays are a time of great loneliness for many. And for those who have recently suffered loss or who still struggle with it long after it happened, holidays can be incredibly isolating. So please remember this. You belong. You deserve happy holidays. For those not experiencing such isolation and loneliness, keep your eyes and ears out for people who are. Many people reach out in very subtle ways because they don't have the strength to do more. We cannot leave the lonely with the entire responsibility of overcoming their loneliness. It sounds great and bootstrappy on paper, but it just doesn't work that way in the real world. We all need help sometimes. We all need someone to reach out and invite us. We have to do our part as members of the community of brothers and sisters, especially if we actually believe that. My religious tenets require this of me, but the lucky thing about being in a UU church is that you don't need religious tenets to tell you how to do the right thing. You don't need religion to give you good morals. From a former Presbyterian minister, I think I'm about to be struck. Sorry. But If you know someone who is alone and you have extra time or food, please reach out, share, build community, be a light in dark times. How I try to be a light in dark times comes from my mama. My mama raised me to understand the power and importance of humor, especially in difficult situations. That's why I pepper all of my sermons, all of the rehearsals I direct, and my everyday speech with jokes and humor. It's also helpful that many of the decisions in my life, like this vinegar tasting fiasco, are often stupid enough that they are comedic in their own right. Through humor, I'm trying to make the vinegar that is my essence more palatable to people around me. Humor is my way of engaging in etiquette past the normal rules of etiquette because people laughing with you rarely want to punch you in the throat. And that's how I choose to engage in civility. But how do you choose to engage in civility? How do you make it so that you can get through Thanksgiving without ripping your hair out? And what do you do to make sure others make it through without ripping their hair out? I promise, I'm about to wrap this up. But I'm going to do so by giving you some helpful tips for surviving the Thanksgiving and holidays using choice quotes gained through my life. Pro tip: please do not try to use these in the workplace unless you're well skilled in this form of Southern doublespeak. Number one, that's very interesting. Can you all say that with me? That's very interesting. Here in the South, we never use the word interesting as a compliment. If someone says your idea, your food, or what you made is interesting and their accent sounds similar to mine, you need to reevaluate. Likewise, if you have a bigoted Aunt Karen who says something stupid, all you need to respond with is, well, isn't that a very interesting point of view? See? The next one is one of my favorite. It's thank you. Your kind words mean so much. Can y'all say that with me? Thank you. Your kind words mean so much. And it requires that squint that I did and only smiling with squeezing the corners of your mouth and emphasize the word you. Try that with someone the next time they say a statement because they insist on talking about you even when it's not a compliment. An example, if Grandma rudely says, you look like you've put on weight, you just respond, thank you. Your kind words mean so much. And everyone will understand exactly where they stand in that moment. And the last one, number 3, is, did you make that yourself? Now, this is a doozy, y'all. This one statement is when something is so bad, you want to give them an out. Much like, that's very interesting, this one is not generally a compliment here in the South. If you bring food, a painting, or whatever else to a function and a Southern person looks at you and says, did you make that yourself? Now is your time to lie. You look them square in the eyes and say, oh no, I got this from Publix and just threw it in a dish and heated it up. Then you go home and take that recipe and burn it. Likewise, you know what to say now when someone has a tasty dish that you don't like any of those tastes. And there you have it. Some backhanded compliments to try and keep the peace. Now, with these tools and a mindset to cultivate civility, I hope you all now have a few more strategies to survive this upcoming holiday and holiday season. Remember, civility is not about being nice. It's about saving your energy and pent-up spite for when that pent-up spite will actually be useful, and that is not Thanksgiving dinner. Don't ruin everyone's hard work just to be a butt. And I'm not asking you to be nice to people you don't like. This is the holiday season, and in seasons year-round, I'm simply asking you to treat others with respect and consideration, even if their grumpopotamus full of vinegar. We are all in this together. No matter how bad much of the world is around us, most of us have real things to be truly grateful and thankful for. So I encourage you to take time to really consider and to give thanks for those things, little and small, in your own personal ways, and what this holiday is really supposed to be about: community. So from my family to yours, I wish you all a wonderful Thanksgiving full of laughs, love, and blessed indigestion. Let us pray. Divine source, holy mystery, that which we know by many names and no names, we call in this time of thanksgiving and gratitude for us to be grateful and thankful people, even when it's difficult. We pray that we come through this time a closer-knit community full of love and warmth, including bickering when it happens. We pray all of these things in many holy names. Amen.
Let us now turn our hymnal to number 69, Give Thanks. Stand as you're able, please. As we extinguish this flame, may the spirit of freedom guide our actions. May equality be our constant pursuit, and may the bonds of community remain strong. May we carry the blessings of acceptance, loving kindness, and a grateful heart with us, that we may offer them to a bruised and hurting world.
I'll keep the benediction short. Be thankful, be grateful, mean it. Don't be a butt to your family members. And as we go out of this service, remember we are meeting right over there for stone soup. Community gathers to eat starting now.